Howdy, guys. It's me again, and I figured I would discuss the legacy of the Confederate States of America. There's been a lot of talk lately about Confederate Heritage Month, and I'm going to discuss it with you. You see, there are many people who argue that the Confederacy fought for slavery and committed treason. Now, that is true. But as Shelby Foote put it, saying that the Confederacy didn't fight for slavery is about as stupid as saying the Confederacy only fought for slavery. You see, the South was really overtaxed, and they were dealing with a lot of tariffs and things like that. There was also the issue of states' rights and blah, 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 blah. And, you see, the thing is that they act like the Confederacy was the bad guys and the Union the good guys. That is a complete bunch of bullshit. And let me explain why. First off, even during the Civil War, before, during, and after the Civil War, the Union was genociding Native Americans left and right. Abraham Lincoln was responsible for the deaths of more Indians than any other president, including Andrew Jackson. Not only that, every commander in the United States Army after the Civil War was at one point a Union guy. I challenge you to find me one officer that wasn't. For example, Ulysses S. Grant, William T. Sherman, George Armstrong Custer, Phil Sheridan, George Crook, Nelson Miles. I could go on and on and on. But I won't. I'm just going to move on. Not only that, as far as the Confederacy goes, the whole thing about it is that it's like, as far as the treatment of blacks, the African American community did not receive much love in the North either. They were, you would think that once they crossed the Mason-Dixon line, they were free. Well, guess what? That's complete and total bullshit as well. They were put into contraband camps frequently. And these contraband camps were not nice places. They were subjugated to pretty harsh treatment, malnutrition, starvation, disease, and 1 in 4 didn't make it out alive. And in fact, they immediately after the Civil War, they just opened up the contraband camps, let them out, or threw them out, depending on your definition, but in any case, a lot more of them died shortly after that. However, it just wasn't a nice thing at all. And now, the Confederate States Army rebelled and fought against overwhelming odds. There was very little chance the Confederacy could have won. In fact, there are those that say the Confederacy had zero chance. I'm not going to go that far. Maybe if they had the Army of Tennessee had a commander of the caliber of Robert E. Lee or somebody similar, that maybe the Confederacy could have won, but even then it's doubtful. The Confederacy just didn't have the manpower or the industry to compete with the Union. That being said, if you look at the reasons why the Confederacy succeeded and the 27 grievances that the colonists gave to King George and Great Britain, you're not going to see much difference. The patriots in the Revolution rebelled to protect slavery. The Loyalists were swamped with slaves wanting freedom. In fact, the Loyalists freed a lot of slaves during their attempt to subdue the rebellion in the American Revolution. And not only that, the 27th grievance, you can go look all this up on Wikipedia or wherever, of that caused America to rebel was basically they accused King George III of inciting insurrections among the slaves. And there are parts of the Star Spangled Banner that we stopped singing a long time ago because it contains references to basically hunting down and killing rebellious slaves. And it's, Confederate history is American history, and the Confederacy was as American as apple pie. There's a reason they called it the Confederate States of America. They didn't call it that for nothing. And the Confederate States Army had so many military geniuses on its side. That's how it was able to last so long, and the durability of its soldiers. The Confederacy won 128 battles in its 5 years of existence. It had a brief but extraordinary existence, to say the least. You had guys like Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, James Longstreet. You had Wade Hampton. You had Nathan Bedford Forrest. You had Patrick LeBurn. And Edmund Kirby Smith. P.G.T. Beauregard. So many highly capable and effective military leaders. I'm not saying that the Union or the North didn't have any, but the South certainly didn't have any less, Now, the history of the Confederate flag is the Confederate flag you recognize is not the Confederate national flag. It never was the national Confederate flag. It will never be the national Confederate flag. That, go look it up. It looks a lot different. The flag that you see is the Confederate Navy Jack, and the shape of it was originally in more of a rectangular shape than, it was the flag we know today is in a rectangular shape. The flag that they used was more of in a square shape, and it was a symbol of the Confederate military specifically. And it's certainly red, white, and blue, And to me, it symbolizes the ultimate fuck you to the federal government. And it symbolizes the right of the Americans to rebel against, and the American people to rebel against their government if things get too dicey, or if the government makes them too uncomfortable, making it more American, making it in a way more American than our own national flag. Anyway, the Union, there was in the South there was Camp Andersonville. In the North there was Camp Douglas. See, the thing is they were very similar places, but for different reasons. The thing is a lot of Union prisoners died at Andersonville, but that was because the South was running out of food and could barely feed its own army, much less prisoners, and people were starving in the South. And the fact of the matter is that the Union had way more food in its agriculture. Believe it or not, the Midwest was and still is very agrarian. And people at Camp Douglas, the Confederate soldiers imprisoned there, died in the thousands because of malnutrition and disease, mostly scurvy and other things. And so, yeah, there's no way they can defend Camp Douglas. But anyway, there will be more in the future, but that's all for now. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you disagree with me, debate me in the comment section. You might just change my mind. See you around, guys.